Okay, so cracking on with this week's whiteboard workout. It's a pretty good one for you guys to test your gymnastics you've been working on. I'm not going through the whole workout because I can't remember what it actually was. It starts off with 5 rope climbs, so for me personally, it was getting off these as quick as possible because I knew the limiter in this workout was going to be the crossover single unders and just staying on the bar as close to the bar as possible and just staying over it, getting it moving all the time. For these rope climbs, I was just thinking about making sure every rep is efficient, not forcing myself to do anything different that I'm used to. Just staying in control the whole time, nice and fast down the rope. So that's where I knew most of my speed and free time was. These crossover single unders started off pretty well. In the warm-up I wasn't great. I was getting to like 15 and tripping. It wasn't worrying for me, but I knew that in the workout I would be able to do better. As we get on through the 50 single unders, just wanted to get through those as quick as possible. Knew my heart rate would be spiking a little bit, but the quicker I could get through these, the less time the handles were in my hand, meaning less fatigue carryover, because this is going to be a very ripper workout. Even if strength, as the bars get heavier, is limiter, it's still going to be a bit of grip and lat fatigue. With these, nothing too crazy. I wasn't going to do a big set of 15. I knew following it down with these touch and goes, I've still got more time under tension in my hands, having to stay tight with the bar close, so I wasn't bothered about doing big sets because the discipline. So if you went fast, maybe 5 seconds faster than what I did on this first set of 15, 42.5 kilos, you could lose that in probably 2 reps on a heavier barbell from just being that little more switched off. So coming on to these 4 rope climbs, I could feel a little bit fatigue settled in, probably here there, because I'd usually be able to go straight up. I was having to be a bit more conscious about the high legs going up. So for me, it's making sure as I grip for the rope, it's a big jump. So a big jump, make sure those arms are nice and long and getting those feet as high as possible, to whereby there's not much. So here I had to do a little shuffle at the end, ideally not, but make sure it's done quick. One more rope climb here. For this reason, I felt my hands were a little bit too grippy, so I didn't choke up too much. I probably only choked up twice in this whole workout. For me, I knew I wouldn't have to choke up that much because it's just rope climbs for me. I know further on this workout, my single under crossovers were breaking apart. Early on, they went pretty well. I'm pretty confident in these, having done a lot of skill work, a lot of time on the crossover single unders. Came up in quarterfinals last year, and they threw a few people off. And I don't think I'd ever practiced them before, but we spent like 20-30 minutes at our gaff making sure we had them pretty spot on before. Purposely, I didn't want Ed changing my weights because potentially you could have some qualifiers or even open quarterfinals workouts where someone's not allowed to change the weight for you, and there's no point not practicing that. Changing the weights. So later on in the workout, I actually changed the weights before I got back onto the rope climbs, simply because it allowed my grip to recover a little bit before I got onto the rope, rather than finishing the double unders. It wasn't my heart rate or the fitness that was was limiting me, so I changed the weights after this one, after I finished the cleans, just so I could let my lats and pulling muscles recover a bit longer before I got back onto the rope to climb up it. Fast singles for me here, pretty lightweight for me. Didn't think it'd be smart for myself to go touch and go. Probably could have done touch and go for the first few, but I feel like my pulling, so my lats and everything like that, my grip would have fatigued a little bit too much than what was needed. Changed the weights nice and quick. I realised as I got to the board it's 85, not 80, so I had to go back over to the other side to put an extra 2.5 kilos on bar, which wasn't ideal. Probably lost 5 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 seconds probably lost there in a workout whereby you're thinking, oh, I could have saved a few seconds somewhere, and it's stuff like that. Chalking up when you don't need to, because you rarely do need chalk in some workouts. It's just probably a bad habit. You've got to drill that in training. You don't have to chalk up when you're rowing, when you're doing burpees, stupid stuff like that. If you're really sweaty and there's no chalk in your grips for your gymnastics movement, then that's why I'd recommend back onto these crossover single unders, where it kind of not broke apart, but I was kind of not laid back, but a bit chilled about the fact that I wasn't failing it, because I didn't want to go straight into it. Do fail another one, and I think I started off pretty well in this second time of starting the single under crossovers. Once you get that rhythm, it kind of goes well, and when you trip, it doesn't. For me, this is like I said, this is the limiting factor, because you're failing reps, or I'm failing reps here, and this is where the seconds add up. You won't really fail the barbell stuff, you won't really fail the rope climb stuff. Later on, I did end up resting before I got onto the single and crossovers, so I give myself 4 or 5 seconds to compose myself to then do a good set of single and crossovers. He felt pretty light as well. For this workout, I was looking at it, I was like, oh, will I wear a belt, will I not? I feel like for me, because it's not too many reps whereby it's heavy, I didn't wear a belt, simply because I feel like it was being wasted time restrapping and unstrapping the belt for the rope climbs and for the single and the crossovers. It's a lot of time you have to get really tight in for those crossovers. I didn't want the belt to affect me, and I know it wouldn't be a strength limiter thing, as you'll see later on. It's way under my max. I don't feel like sometimes people see a heavy bar, but like, oh, I need to have a belt on. Don't always test it. Like, might be some workouts where like seconds count, and this workout the seconds do count. When you will look at the leaderboard, you're like, oh, that person's 20 seconds, 30 seconds ahead or behind me. How could I have lost or gained that time? It can be a little stuff of chalking up, readjusting your belt, like you don't realise, but that does affect your time a lot. Here we go with the 100 kilo barbell. I knew coming on the six reps at 100 wouldn't be too hard. I had a little time to jump up, but it wasn't whereby I was walking over to the rope and then standing there staring at the rope. It was, when I get to it, I'm going to jump straight up. Big jump there, big legs, and if you notice, there's a little sneaky movement, little technique I do for my rope climbs. Maybe rewind back and have a little look. It allows me to consistently do 2 pulls and like that. I think in our gym, that top of that being 17 foot, possibly in between 16, 17 foot. So I know when I get to a 15 foot rope climb, it's going to be easy to do it in 2 pulls, without a doubt. So here's kind of like the home straight, a few trips here and there, like a little rest here. But I didn't want to rush into it and be tripping. When I did trip, I was like, oh, just stick to what I'm doing. Didn't really find it hard to do, but I didn't want to get complacent and be like, oh fuck, failing these crossover single unders. Just take 3 to 4 seconds. Just usually when you cross over, for me it's usually when I cross back over, so your handles usually switched over. Just untangle them, first thing, untangle, get yourself set. May take 5 seconds, but do that so then you're not rushing into the next one and failing again. If for you the crossover single unders weren't the limiter, then it will probably have been either the weight or the technique or the endurance of the rope climbs. For a lot of people, it will be possibly the rope climbs, not being able to jump straight up, probably spending too much time staring at the rope. So this is round I forgot to, well no actually, so I finished the cleans and I was like, well I've only got 1 rope climb, and it's not going to have much carryover fatigue into anything, because there's only 1, whereas if it's 2, I'd be spending probably a few seconds resting in between the other ones. So I add the weight back on. I thought I was choking up for a rope climb then, beat my own words, but yeah, I wanted to have loads of composure for the rope, and then I tripped, and again that was probably the worst round, last round. But as I said, I put the weight on there because I knew I could just jump straight up to the rope climb, didn't have anything to think about, and I just knew I would do it. Like, just trusting I had trusted myself. These crossovers went well after I'd had a few trips. Maybe I should have rested a bit longer, but that's what training's all for, testing yourself in different scenarios. And then for this last one, I was like, oh well, I've got nothing to lose here. I can do touch and go, or I can do fast singles. End of the day, if there's someone next to me, if I do touch and go, I'm going to beat them. With this, making sure I was nice and set, and then bosh, there we go. So that's the end of the workout for this. If you guys are also doing the workout, I'd recommend, I always say to myself, I'm going to choose 3 things that went well, and then 3 things I could have improved on. 3 things that went well: barbell cycling felt in control for myself. Didn't take too much time in between them. Rope climbs felt pretty good, pushed them. I'd say a good thing for my crossover single unders was bigger sets. Like in the past, I probably would have done 20 broke, 10 broke. So that's another good thing. And then for the 3 things that I could have improved on, so it can be going back into my normal training, making sure I'm set for the crossover single unders. Ideally, I don't want to be breaking those 50, because that can probably cost me 10 seconds. Untangling it, retangling it. Probably every set I missed, so I broke the 10. Sorry, I broke for 10 seconds. I broke, which resulted in 10 seconds wasted. And another thing could possibly be making sure I know what the workout is, or rep scheme is. And then finally would be making sure I stay disciplined in my rest. So it can be rest on the barbell, rest on the rope. I probably could have pushed the rope a bit harder. Probably the barbell a bit more. Probably push the singles on the 60, or maybe do a few touch and go. So hope you guys enjoyed that. I'll be trying to do more of these walkthroughs of the workouts, as it's good insight for you guys as well. Hope you all do good on the whiteboard workout.